Rob, obviously we won't see the 21-man squad until Friday. Can you give us a sneak preview as to who's potentially back in the frame?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword this week. Got a few out and a few coming back, so it's like 3 in, 3 out really. Clooney's looking pretty good. He's looking pretty sharp. Really nice to get him on board. I'd love to have had him last week, really. He's controlling half. He's not trained with us pretty much since September last year. So really good to have him on the field and being available. Sutcliffe got through training unscathed. Looks like he could be available. And Tane Milne is obviously a little bit behind with his running and meters in his legs because he's obviously been at home with the birth of his child. But not only that, he had a clear out on his knee, so he hasn't done much running. But he's been training this week and potentially could be out there for us. So good.
If that's the good news, what's the bad news?
Yeah, that's the good news. I'm not sure if someone's got a voodoo doll of me just in a little giant shirt and prodding it. But yeah, 3 in, unfortunately 3 out. Joel Greenwood did his knee. He'll be out for 6 weeks. Will Joe. And Zach Wolford's going to be out for 8 to 10 weeks with his ankle. He's going to he's got to see a specialist today. He's having an operation on his ankle. So, yeah, look, unbelievably bad news from them two. And then the other one is Matt English did his shoulder in the game, so he'll be absent this week. So literally as soon as we start getting some troops back on board, 3 in, 3 go out, but really tough for the 3 lads, all for different reasons that have had some trials and tribulations over the pre-season and worked extremely hard, all 3 of them, in different ways. So I'm really, really chuffed that they're back with the lads in getting ready for selection. And then just feel really disappointed. If Matt English is not too bad. Matt English is only a short-term shoulder injury, so that's good news if it is good news. But the other 2 is devastating because I think Joe Greenwood's been really, really good for us, whether he's played in the middle or back row. I think he's starting to find some really good form of previous years. Joe thought he'd been really good. So that's really disappointing for him that his momentum's been stopped. And, I think everyone's realised what a linchpin Zach Wolford is for us. He really makes us tick. The service from out of dummy half's been sensational, and he's another one it's a really, really, really big loss for us. And, unfortunately, he'll be going for an operation.
It was quite an innocuous one with Zach, wasn't it? Because he'd got the ball away and he just tripped over someone's foot. But he went off, he came back on. So did he make it worse? Or?
No, I didn't make it worse. They said that pretty much the damage were already done. The adrenaline were kicking in. He felt good. And, the physio assessed him and said, look, you don't look great. But Zach were like, look, I feel great. I feel fine. Put me back out there. He was the one begging to go back out. He's a tough kid. But yeah, that's probably the most disappointing thing for me, and the reason why I think we've got a voodoo doll going somewhere. It were really innocuous the way he did it. So he did the ankle in Malaga. Jack Billington was swinging around. He didn't have the ball in his hand, and he wasn't making a tackle. And he stood on his foot, and he went to the side and obviously twisted it. Once again, he stood on somebody's foot. So somebody got swung around the ruck, and he stood on someone's foot, which that scenario probably happens, 1 out of 1,000 chance of happening. I don't even know anybody who's done it before where they've not had a ball in their hand, not been tackled, and stood on somebody else's foot who's getting swung around. The exact same incident happened again this weekend. So yeah, it's extremely disappointing. Look, we realised how key Zach is for us, but look, this is not new for me. It's not new for the group. It's not new for the team. We're pretty much accustomed to it now, and we've got players that can do a job in there. Deacon's been waiting in the wings. He's one that's struggled with injuries throughout pre-season, but he's been waiting in the wings and come through unscathed against. Playing front this week. Ash Golden's somebody it's not his first and foremost. It's not his position, but he's somebody who can go in there and do a really good job. So we've got players that can do the job. But yeah, it's, it's, once again, it's hindered us a little bit. But
Is
on a positive, on a positive note, I forgot about Harry Rushton. And on a positive note,
what's the latest?
Yeah, on a really positive note, we've got those three coming back, and Harry Rushton's put himself up for selection as well. Coming back from his head knock, that's what I'm going to speak to you about just then. It's, even though it's really disappointing from their three aspects, we're really positive in the fact that we've got them four that have come back into the side that, again, Harry's another one that's key, and we're playing pretty good rugby before his head knock, so he's another one that's, he's going to add to us and add something to us. So really positive news regarding those four.
Let's stop talking about players. Let's talk about the opposition then on Sunday. What do you expect from Wigan, bearing in mind they've gone to Las Vegas and back?
Yeah, somebody said this to me before. This is not their first rodeo. This is what they do for the last 3 years. They've just what they've done. They're playing Challenge Cup finals. They back up. They're playing grand finals. No, they don't back up after a grand final, but they're playing World Cup Challenger after that, and that's in the season. They back up. This isn't new for them. It's something we're expecting a very good Wigan team. I'm expecting it to be a bit of a party atmosphere. They're coming back from over in Vegas. First game at the stadium. We're expecting a little bit of a party atmosphere of them, a bit of a celebration. I liken it a little bit to like the old Easter fixtures. You generally don't feel it until sort of 2 or 3 games afterwards. You're still on a bit of a high. You're still sort of, the adrenaline's still pumping. It's normally 2, 3, potentially even 4 weeks after that you feel a little bit of a hangover for it. So, look, we're expecting the best Wigan side. They're an unbelievable side. They've got threats throughout the squad, and we're expecting the best of them. Do I expect and do I want us to go there and win? Yes, I do. Do I think we've still got a team capable of doing it? Yeah, we do. We're getting 2 points. The performance that we put out against Hull were brilliant, really. For a vast majority of it, we just stumbled in the last 10 minutes and made some really, really bad errors and some sort of bad judgments, and which the players know about, and they've held their hand up and sort of said, yeah, look, we've could have handled them a little bit different, would have won the game, but I didn't feel like Hull were getting out of their half, really. I felt like we defended really good, so if we can do the same things this week, attack with a little bit more potency, get a little bit more potency with his attack, a little bit more game management, I think we'll put ourselves once again in a good position.
Just a couple of final points. It's obviously, it must be always special for you going back there. How do you look back on your time at Wigan, given the fact you made your debut at, 17 years and 8 months? Which is crazy when you think about it these days.
Yeah, is it really? Yeah. We have sometimes lads that come in with us at 17-year-old and the physios are panicking saying they can't tackle. Get back to the good old days. But my time at Wigan.
You said you could tackle, Robert.
Oh, well, yeah. I put my face in front of him anyway. Look, my time at Wigan, I'll be forever grateful. It's a side that, as a young kid, they're a superstar team. I used to go to bed with the Wigan hat and the Wigan posters all over my bedroom. I've still got friends there. Sean O'Loughlin's the assistant over there. Matty Pete, I chat to Matty Pete every now and again, and Chris Radlinski, who I played in the same team as. They've got really, really good people over there. They're an unbelievably well-run club. And my time over there were brilliant. They moved in with a family that I'm still close to. I still go over and visit the family. I take my kids over sometimes to visit the family that I live with. And yeah, I thought the grounding that I had, I think at Wigan pretty much made me the player that I was, and I'll be forever grateful. I ended up making Giants my home. Spent the vast majority of my career at the Giants, and it is somewhere that I consider home. But yeah, that initial introduction into first team environment, first team rugby, academy rugby, I'll be forever grateful for.
Just lastly from me, Leroy will make his 350th Super League appearance if he plays. Just quantify how big a milestone that is, again, in this day and age.
Oh, it's massive, isn't it? The fact he's only ever played at one club, he's a one-club man, but I'll never detract anything from players playing in Championship, Champ 1, because it's a really tough competition. It's not an easy place to play, but to play at the elite level, at Super League level, 350 games. There's not many people that have managed to do that. To do that with the injuries that he sustained in the middle of his career, that really could have set him back and pretty much, there were some pretty dark times for Leroy. I don't think if you asked him himself, there were dark times where he probably could have retired. And I think if it weren't for him as an individual, he's tough as teak. He bleeds claret and gold. He's just he's an all-round, just a top bloke. And I think if he didn't have them qualities, them character traits within him, I think he would have quit. So to actually him to go through those, come out a totally different player, change his position, change the way that he plays the game, probably due to them injuries a little bit as well, losing that little bit of speed. I think it's testament to him and as a person. And the problem I've got with Leroy is we feel like we're doing an event all the time for him. It's not his 300, it's his 350th. It'll probably be his 400th career appearance not too long after. And I don't know if the classed, we looked here, and I don't think they classed, they went to the middle eights and Giants played in the middle eights, but we're in the lower eight. I don't think they classed them as Super League games as well. So it could have potentially even had more Super League games, I think, if we looked into it. But officially, it's his 350th Super League appearance. Could be more.
Probably is more. Still a massive achievement, and there's more to come. Well said, Robert. Thank you, mate. I'll pass you over.
No, don't. JOB.
Hey, Robert. How are you doing?
Hey, mate. You all right?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just going back to last week, probably Tui copped it more than anyone in the aftermath of that game. How's he reacted to that?
Oh, look, I said after the game that, Tui's a player that we really rely on and really, really need. And he'll put you in positions and create you more opportunities than he squanders. To be fair to Tui, he didn't need anyone to remind him. He didn't need me before I even started the speech in at full time. He pretty much addressed the group, put his hand up and said, look, I could have managed that situation better. I think we could have managed the whole situation better as a team anyway. There were, before that, I thought the way that we set up for the drop goal wasn't great. We had an offload from one player, which probably put us under a bit of pressure. Then he passed the ball, which moved us off point a little bit. So we also give a 6 away again in their before their drop goal attempt. I know Briscoe held someone's arm in the ruck, and he did hold his arm in the ruck, and the ref missed it. But we've got to be better ourselves. So we as a team, we win together, we lose together, but it's so frustrating. I'm not going to lie. I went home and were really, really difficult that weekend to actually get over it, because we put ourselves in a position we lost that game. We didn't win the game. We lost that game. If you even listen to their coach and their coaching staff, they wouldn't have scored for another 10 hours if they'd been playing. If we hadn't give them an intercept, we pretty much all we need to do is hold the ball complete. We didn't even need to go for a drop goal when we're 10-4 up. We just need to run the ball into the pocket, kick the ball in the touch, do whatever, roll the ball into the in goal, and would have won that game. So really, really frustrating from our behalf. That were 2 points we lost rather than they gained. And yeah, really, really frustrating. But look, it's gone now. There's nothing we can do about it. Let's move on to the next game. We've got to learn and learn fast, because we are putting ourselves in positions to win games. In each and every game, we've gone up against 2 top 6 teams, put ourselves in a position the last 15 minutes to win the game. Gone against Hull, have recruited really well. We should have won the game, but it makes no odds on the league table. Nobody remembers that in 10 games time, and especially when if Salford are not putting out opposition, I think other teams those people will be picking up 2 points potentially against them. So yeah, we've got to start picking up our own 2 points.
Yeah, you're back into it then this week to bounce back positively and contribute positively.
Oh, look, he's a key individual for us anyway. He's a key individual. He's somebody that I think he will bounce back from. We have a lot of faith in, and he's, if your partner's Clooney this week as well, there'll be a fair bit more experience in there, helping us guide, not resting solely on those more experienced players. So yeah, look, we're 100% we're behind him.
Yeah, and obviously you've gone to Wigan in similar circumstances in recent years and put in really strong performances. Would you take one of those performances again this weekend?
Yeah, I would. And look, at the beginning of the season, it's all about you're trying to build. You want to get some good performance in and try and build. Unfortunately for us, it's with the juggling and the changing of personnel means we're trying to build some consistency within our game, but it's a constant juggling act regarding who comes in, who goes out. But I must say that in the 3 games, I am more disappointed than anybody else that we aren't picking up performances, and it is about putting points on the board. And as I said previously, if teams if they're getting 2 points against certain sides, then it makes it a little bit more difficult on our behalf. But we've got to keep putting the performances together, keep believing, and hopefully them 2 points will come soon.